So, as of pretty recently, BRP has announced that they have stopped shipments on all ATVs and most UTVs coming into the United States.
Give me my theme music.
Never gets old.
It's the best theme music. Nobody has theme music like we have it.
All right. Well, strap in, prepare yourselves. We're about to film another episode of Moving Metal, the show. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but it's going to be good. And prepare yourself. You guys ready to start the show?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Gentlemen, it's been a while, yes?
Like a month.
It's been a month.
It's been a month.
To all of our loyal viewers, we do apologize, but as you know, it's spring in power sports, baby. We're making money.
We rolling units, man.
We're doing the thing. So we appreciate the patience. Glad to be here. Big shout out to my co-host, B. Porcupine.
What up?
Dingle Ingle.
Dingle Angle.
Dingle Ingle.
Man, that's so
Coming
good.
to you live.
That is
I wish
so
I had,
good.
I wish I had the air horns on. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. All right,
Gotta
great.
relearn my buttons.
So we don't have like a super specific topic today.
We have a very
We got a big one.
specific
That's
topic.
very
but a
specific.
big topic.
Big one.
Okay, no.
We
have
got
a specific
tariffs. Anybody
topic.
want to talk about tariffs?
Isn't it weird how like this was a conversation when was this last year, and nothing. Yes, things happened, but it wasn't really big, and it feels like right now it's
Things is about to happen.
way bigger than it was 12
yeah.
months ago. So let's start.
Way bigger. It's the biggest.
What's going on with the tariffs? What's happening? I'm going to lean on my guys to tell you what's happening. So talk to me.
So, as of pretty recently, BRP has announced that they have stopped shipments on all ATVs and most UTVs coming into the United States.
Why?
Because the tariff law, if that's the right way to say that,
It's close.
has changed. So now instead of charging tariffs for specific parts, meaning like last year when you were just talking about tariffs, basically last year they were only charging tariffs on individual parts. Now they're going to be charging tariffs on whole units. So BRP is backed up and punted and said, hey, hang on a minute, we're not sure how to handle this. This is a $500 million issue for us. So we're just going to stop all shipments into the United States. So what you have to sell right now and what's in the United States from BRP and probably Polaris, CF Moto, Cowie, everybody's going to deal with this. So this is a huge issue.
Is it a double whammy? Is it parts and units now, or is it just units?
Oh, it's both.
Well, they haven't lifted it off the parts. They
No.
just included whole units.
Yep.
How long of an inventory supply do you think there is in the U.S. right now?
Oh, God.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Actually know what a day supply is on that stuff.
Yeah.
60 day? 90?
Well,
Probably,
here's
probably
what happens.
90.
We thought so. Deja vu, COVID. We thought in the car business we had like 180 days of inventory is what we thought, and then all of a sudden people start buying stuff and buying stuff and buying stuff, and then we didn't have 180 days of inventory.
Right.
We had 100 days of inventory. And then that turned into 80 days of inventory. And then 3 months, 4 months, 5 months in a row, we'd sell down to one or zero new cars at the end of the month. So,
Well, I think this is a little
can
bit,
escalate quickly.
This is a little bit different because I don't think there's going to be an influx of buyers.
Right.
I think there's going to be the same amount of buyers that there would have been in, say, May, June, July, August, maybe
Busy
even into
season.
September.
Yeah.
It's going to be the same amount of buyers. We're not going to create new buyers like we did during COVID, but we're probably going to see an inventory shortage like we did in COVID. So it's going to be the same in terms of inventory shortage, but different because we don't have an influx of buyers. So that day supply might actually be higher than it was in COVID, but it still brings a really big issue to us as dealers who's expecting to get a certain amount of units. And as we were just talking about this, I was also thinking over the last 12 months, all of our manufacturers have tried to do a better job at right-sizing the dealer's inventory.
Demand planning.
So we've done really good in demand planning. The problem is now that demand planning goes out the window.
In essence, demand planning was, in most dealers' cases, was shrinking.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah.
so
Yep.
they,
Yep.
you know, it's demand planning, and yes, you're right. But now, if you look at it, you say, "Oh shit."
Go back
Right.
to the
It's actually
other
it was
way.
actually shrinking. So and it makes sense. And for if you're looking at what the normal progression of business is, it was definitely great. It was the best thing that they could do for dealers.
Sure.
But if you look at a situation like this, you're like,
wham!
oh,
Wait a second.
here's another one of those waves that we've talked about so many times
Yep.
over the podcast.
So do you think it's like it's really a fall consequence that we're just thinking about right now, right? So if we have 90 days of inventory, that gets us through May, June, July, August, September,
Who knows?
you know?
Who knows? I mean, this situation may completely change in 3 months.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Very
I
well
mean,
could.
this could be something that gets put in place, and all of a sudden we go, the industry or the government or whoever makes this decision, the government, says, oh, shit, auto, power sports, whatever, golf cart, all this shit has fallen off so hard that the money that we're collecting from the tariffs is not offsetting the lull that's happened.
In
So
business.
let's fix it. So
Interesting.
I don't think
Yeah.
we really know how this thing's going to flesh out. My thing is, and the reason that I wanted to talk about this today is because as dealers, we need to be ahead of this shit. Because even if we're wrong, the precautionary measures that we can take will put us in a better spot in June, July, and August.
Correct. Well, we did this in 2019, and we could have been wrong, but we weren't.
As far as
Let's go hard on used inventory. Let's start acquiring units because we know that this
Yeah.
is coming with COVID, right?
well, we didn't know anything about COVID in 2019. It was just the right move
Yeah.
for our business.
So what's cool about this is as a group, as an organization, it's almost like divine intervention, if you will. What's the last 45 days? What's the biggest focus of the last 45 days of our organization been?
For us, it's been pre-owned.
yeah.
It's
Pre-owned.
the biggest
Yep.
opportunity for us, and we have absolutely 100% capitalized on it.
So I think that's where I want to segue into next is I think a great topic to go into is, okay, we know that this is coming. Well, what does the dealer do about it, right? If we know that we've got 90 days supply worth of inventory, what do you do right now to set yourself up for fall or even sooner? Because like you just said,
Oh, it's summer.
It could
Summer.
be 90 days, and then
Yeah.
when next month when people start figuring out this is coming, well, shit, it could shrink to
Well,
30 days real quick.
I'll tell you this: if you got a really aggressive sales team that really understands how to push and take advantage of a geographic situation, my sales guys are going to be telling people when they say, "Yeah, well, we're thinking about it." Well, you understand that, like, if you want a new one, you've only got this shot, right? So there's going to be
Right.
a lot of quick movement, and I think that the way you can capitalize it on both sides, because we're talking about pre-owned, is we're going to be making absolutely the money on the new unit, but it justifies us putting more money into the trade. Most of these people do have
Sure.
trades. The reason that people
Well-
don't trade in normal time is because we train people forever to say, hey, yeah, I know this is the trade value, but you can always get a little bit more if you sell it yourself. Well, we're going right back into a situation where
Yep.
that's no longer the case.
Well, what was happening during COVID, and this does very accurately describe what we're going to deal with and has no bearing on the influx of customers. When we ran out of inventory during COVID, we paid retail money for used units and made money on it.
Yeah.
So if this thing happens the way that we think it's going to happen, we're not going to have the inventory. So in 30, 60, 90 days, those trades are going to be worth, or that pre-owned inventory is going to be worth more money.
You know what's cool, and we've actually talked about this before, as of why the influx of buyers from COVID don't exist today. It could be a really cool opportunity to bring those customers back into the life cycle because we can afford to get them out of that negative
Right.
Yeah.
equity position that
Yep.
they way
Yeah,
overpaid
we've talked about
for.
that before.
Right, exactly.
Well,
So
no,
that's where
the reason we were able to do it previously was because the main reason is the books adjusted, right?
Yeah.
Like you could actually book, and I was not in power, I was in auto, right? But I was watching the books on my pre-owned inventory every week. I was like, man, I remember when that Maxima was worth like $9,500, and now the book says that it's worth $11,200.
Yep.
And it was still sitting in
Yeah.
the same parking spot that it was the week before, with the same miles and the same missing bumper. So that's I can
Yeah.
definitely see. And so here's the really extremely huge opportunity is to prepare now and use the
Yes.
knowledge that we all gained then. This is our time. We have all talked about COVID like, that's an anomaly. That'll never happen again. So we can
Shit.
basically just write that off of our books, right? And as far as numbers are concerned, yeah, you can't ever count on that.
volume increase
But
of customer inflow, never
but
again.
What we shouldn't write off the books is the knowledge that we learned to be and stay relevant in those spaces whenever we had one new unit, or
Yeah.
we only had 10 units coming in that we were able to, going to be able to get for the month, and we still had to sell 100 units because we had 25 salespeople and we got to keep people.
Yeah.
So that level of resourcefulness, we can set ourselves up right now. And I'm to reference, I've got a friend of mine that's like always talking about the sky falling, and he's like the prepper dude, right? But he's learned over years, and he's gone through stuff. He went through 08, right? So like he's that guy that's like, well, I'm preparing for this, and it's a little excessive on his part. But right now is the time for us to be preppers and
Yeah.
say, hey, we're
Well-
going to prep for what we think could happen.
Yeah.
And worst case scenario, it doesn't have a huge effect, and we're better prepared to do more of what we know how to do anyway.
Well, used inventory sales are up this year
Right.
to year regardless. So you cannot hurt yourself by doing
Yes.
better on used inventory
Exactly.
right
Yes,
now.
it's not like even before we found this news out, we identified in our organization the biggest opportunity for us is to have pre-owned inventory.
I mean, if you listen to our podcast with Jacob Berry, what's the number? It's 3-1. Now that's heavy motorcycle
Right.
data,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
still, even at 1-to-1 in power sports,
Yeah.
double your fucking
If
So
you have
your unit count.
So what we're saying is the number one thing you can do is get some pre-owned inventory. Figure out a way to
Okay.
get it, because you're not going to hurt yourself, even if this doesn't transpire the way that we think it's going to transpire. But if it does, then that puts you in a position to either make more money or continue to have a stable business during this possible inventory shortage.
Absolutely. And that's kind of the next segue that I want to go into is, okay, well, what does a dealer do right now in order to prepare? Or the topic that you mentioned earlier, what are smart dealers doing right now that's going to set them up for success? I'm going to take a little back route into this, and it's because I
like that.
I got a call today.
How'd you make that sound?
Add it to the board.
Auto load.
It was because I got a call today about a department that they wanted to put some. Shout out to Bradley from Route 1. Bradley, if you're writing this or if you're listening to this, shout out to you. Their service department, the schedule is light. They have work, they're turning every day, but their schedule is light. And so he called today, hey, let's put a push on service. Great. And then you came in here with this news, and I'm like, hold on a second. Every dealer in the country should be trying to push units for service into their service department right now. Why? Not only to generate service revenue, but to do what? Trade-ins.
Right. Buy
Trade-ins.
out of your service department.
Get out of your pull units out of your service department.
If you're,
Yeah.
and this is something that we're still working on, but if your service department doesn't have some type of a sales environment in it, you're missing deals. If your service advisor, your service manager, doesn't have something in the back of their head that, of course, they're a service manager, right? They got to take care of all the nuts and bolts. But if there's not something in their head that says, hey, I should maybe get a stamp that says trade approved, or I should,
Yep.
I see that unit, and I heard the guys talking about this type of unit. So maybe I'm just going to ask the guy, hey, would you sell it to me? Let's not replace the belt and do all the tires. Why don't I just buy it from you, and you can be done with it? If that's not even a thought in whoever that customer-facing person is in your service department, you are losing money. And that's not just in this time. That's forever.
Yeah,
But where
all
it's,
time.
it's where it's really going to start to affect us is now.
Yeah.
Is when we're saying, hey, the customer's already here for their oil change. They're already here for their tires or whatever it is. We should at least ask the question.
Make an offer.
We should at least ask the question.
Yep.
It's the reason why kiosks in retail centers sell more coverage than the actual retail associates do, because they just ask every customer. It's in their programming. You got to click off of it on the screen if you don't want to add it. So it goes to every single customer. So if we did a better job of saying, hey, every single unit, even if it's nasty and dirty, we don't think that those sell well, I mean, if they weren't thinking about selling it, and now you're saying, hey, I got a customer that might be interested in it, that doesn't mean that they want top dollar for it. Those are the customers that haven't researched their trade value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
They've not considered that trade. So now you're planting that bug, and you can look like a hero. You can line that thing up right there and say, hey, I got a checkbook in the other room right there.
You can either write me a check for $1,500 for this service bill, or I'll write you a check for $10,000 for your unit right now today.
Yeah.
Changes the whole dynamic.
Deal
of
or no
that
deal.
conversation.
It's no big deal. If nope,
You want
no
to take it
harm
with
to
you?
you.
Fine.
Yep,
You know,
we're
No
good
harm
either
to
way.
you.
get you taken care of.
Yep. And then they agree to it. Well, you need to replace it, or are you just good without one?
Either way is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
so-
the problem becomes is that most people that are riders will continue to be riders.
Yes.
So if that creates a trade opportunity and we have an inventory shortage, what do you do?
Well, here's where I want to go is, one, do not give your good shit away. Okay? I'm not saying we have to go back to COVID freight setup type deals, but
Well, freight and setup is fine. Addendums.
addendums, right? Like
Are-
MSRP plus,
Yeah.
right? Like if what you're saying is true, and if it does play out the way that that we see, honestly, we need to get pretty close to that right now.
I have a question. What were the addendums? In
We
power
didn't
sports?
charge them.
No,
Okay.
Some dealers did. I mean, they would stack on $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 on top of
Okay.
units. But
Yeah.
we said this is a temporary thing. We're not going to screw our customer. We're going to maintain, our relationship with our customer. We're not going to charge them more than freight and setup and dock.
Gotcha.
so it was MSRP plus a $2,000 addendum plus $1,500 freight for $499 setup.
Okay.
That's the same thing that was happening in the auto,
Okay.
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah, in auto, it was basically
It was sticker
auto,
plus 10, whatever.
auto, very similar structure, but like we kind of set a flat across the board, and it was based off of a price point. So
Yeah.
it was like if $20,000 to $30,000 cars have this addendum, $30,000 to $40,000 cars have this addendum, $40,000 plus cars have this addendum.
Yeah.
And I mean, on a $20,000
Well-
car, it was a $5,000 addendum.
Yeah.
But
So-
here's the problem is that we also have to realize this is probably a temporary thing.
It is.
And even if there are
It has to be.
price adjustments, say there is a $3,500 per UTV additional charge. In 2 years, that's going to be the norm. So if we overcharge customers now, meaning not freight,
Right.
not setup, not dock, but addendums, all we're doing is burying that customer
Yeah.
where
so
they
that in
can't get
2 or
out of
3
it.
years they cannot trade
and
out
that's,
of it.
COVID.
and that's part of the knowledge. That's so what I'm saying. We need to reference what happened in COVID,
Yeah.
right? In COVID, it was such a free for all. Honestly, it was such a free for all
Battle
that
Royale.
we didn't really understand the hangover that we were going to deal with,
Yeah.
right? It was just like drink as much as we can drink, and oh shit, I'm hungover for 12 days now,
Yeah.
and so. That's what happened in auto.
Yeah,
we
same
we
thing that
realized
happened
really
in power
quickly.
sports.
We realized really quickly, man, this guy's $4,000 tank. This guy's $8,000 tank. This guy's $15,000 tank.
Yep.
There's not a bank in the world
That's
that
gonna
will
look at
will
it.
lend on 200%. Like it just doesn't work.
So my point is like when we go back to the topic of what are smart dealers doing now, you're prepping your sales team to stop dropping below sticker before you add freight and setup on your high end
100%.
cabbed
Yeah.
units.
I
Well,
think-
if we could get every dealer in the United States to understand what happened during COVID, it's not a price issue.
Yeah,
Like if we would
correct.
all stop dropping to the bottom,
Correct.
we would solve this problem. The
Immediately.
problem is that some dealers want to sell more than other dealers, and they want to be number one on the Polaris or BRP sales chart. So they're just going to drop their pants and sell them for nothing.
Yeah.
But what we learned, to your point, during COVID was that price really isn't the problem.
Nope.
We still had the same amount of people that were going to buy anyways, buy for full retail plus freight plus setup plus dock.
Yep.
And that's my big bitch with the entire industry right now is this is what we learned. We learned that price is not the problem. We don't have to be at invoice minus rebate to make a deal.
Did
But
we learn that, though, as an industry?
No.
Is the question?
No.
That's
But it's like I always say, the manufacturer says they set the MSRP or the price of that unit, but that's not reality.
Mm-hmm.
The cheapest dealer in town sets the price
Correct.
of that unit.
correct.
So
Everybody's a phone call away now, and that's never going to change.
that's In fact, it's probably only going to get more advanced
Yep.
than that.
Yep. That's
So,
correct.
All right, great. So we've got one here. Things that smart dealers are doing right now is you're prepping your sales teams, right? You're buying used inventory. You're in my opinion, you're driving traffic into your service department for opportunities to buy used inventory. That's one.
Here's what I want to say on the topic of buying used inventory. Most dealerships don't have a pre-owned inventory floor plan.
Yeah.
So they see the cash output. But something that I've learned about money is that the money is worthless sitting in my checking account. The money is only valuable when that money is used to make you more money. So if you're a dealer out there and you're concerned about the number in your checking account, when we get to the pinnacle of this problem, when you don't have any inventory, all that money that you have in your checking account that you could have spent over the last 90 days on buying $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 worth of used inventory is going to be freaking worthless because your nut, what it cost you to operate your dealership, is going to be more than that, and you're going to suffer larger losses. So don't be afraid to spend that money on used inventory right now for the return, or not even the return, for the sake of keeping yourself in business.
It's almost safety.
Yes,
It's
It
not
is
a return.
absolutely
It's just
safe.
safety.
Yes. So if you've got the money to buy it, but you're scared to spend your money, think about what's going to happen in the next 6 months and how valuable that's going to be. What if that $300,000 that you just invested into your used inventory can turn 5 times a year and make you 20% return on that money? That's going to be the money that you spent that saved your dealership from going bankrupt.
Plus covering your covering your payroll, covering your bills, keeping all of your employees.
If in general you've done your math and you know where you are well enough right now to where you can say, hey, it cost me this much. The good thing is our fixed expenses shouldn't really move that much, right?
No.
Your fixed expenses are pretty well that they're not really going to be affected by this tariff situation, right? Like your light bill's still your light bill,
Correct.
Yep.
right? Your water bill and all of your fixed stuff is
Mostly
pretty well going to stay the
insurance,
same.
light bills,
Pretty much going to stay
rent.
the same outside of normal variance, right? The energy company charges a little more, whatever. If you can do the math,
they tariff energy now?
well, I know with diesel prices that everything
It's
has gone
$6
more
a
expensive.
gallon.
But I guess my point is, though, is if you understand what your nut is,
Yep.
like it takes this to keep the lights on, right? If you've got that and then you've got all of your other money, right, and you don't really have a separation in that money, it's exactly the same as the old dude that says, I got $100,000 in my savings account versus the old dude that says, I've got $100,000 in the stock market.
So, your money, your cash, even if this does not play out, don't be afraid to put that money in pre-owned inventory. Because if I give you this example, say 20 years ago, you put $100 in a drawer, and then somebody else put that same $100 in the stock market. 20 years from now, you're going to open that drawer and you're still going to have $100.
It's actually less.
Less. It's going to be less. You're right. Well, it's still going to be 100, but what you can
The value
buy,
of it, that 100 is less.
Right. What you can buy with that 100 is less. But the same guy that put the 100 in the stock market, that 100 might be worth 200, 300,
10
400,
grand.
or 10 grand. So don't hoard your cash. Yes, we want to maintain liquidity. Yes, we want to make sure that we have enough in our account to survive and pay our bills and whatever. But don't be afraid to reinvest that inventory, that money into inventory.
I think something that you're really saying is, and we reference it all the time, you had to jump off a cliff to start your dealership. You had to jump off a cliff to make the initial cash investment to buy your dealership. That's not the last cliff you need to be comfortable jumping off of. You've got to be you've got to be comfortable jumping off the cliff and said, hey, we banked this amount of money, and it looks good when your account's building and it's building, and you're like, man, yeah. I remember when we started, we only had 50 grand in the account. Now we've got 350 grand in the account, or $1 million, or whatever it is. That's the wrong mindset. That is your buying power to make more money.
That's right.
Your cash doesn't flow when you're not flowing it.
Dude,
Why do you think they say it's currency? It
Yeah.
moves. It
gotta be current.
fluctuates. Like it's not. Like money is not valuable until money
Man,
is used.
I saw a good one this morning, and I'm going to share it.
do it.
only dead fish go with the flow.
Yeah, true.
Interesting.
True.
Well, just on
Boom.
on a personal level, like it's something that I've learned because I just put the money in the savings account, and I'm looking at it, and it ain't doing nothing.
Ain't doing shit.
It ain't doing nothing.
Ain't doing shit.
And so, like, obviously, we found a way for us, but I think it's a small sample size of what is the big picture,
Yeah.
right? Like, yeah, just sit there and look at it and watch what happens.
Safety,
Nothing.
Safety is theory.
None of it is actually
Yeah.
safe because in reality, it could become worthless.
You know what? I don't give a shit. Well, I do give a shit to a point. I don't care how much money I have in a checking account. I care about how much cash I'm bringing in every single month.
Correct.
Like cash is cash is not king. Everybody says cash is king. Pac
Old
says
school.
Christ is king. But in this example, people say cash is king. No, cash is not king. Cash flow is king.
Boom.
Because if you have money coming in all the time, every week, every month, every single goddamn day of the week, what you have in your checking account is
It
irrelevant.
doesn't matter
Doesn't matter.
because your shit's taken care of, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked used inventory, right? Here's the question that I know most people are going to ask: well, how the fuck do I find used inventory?
Marketplace. We have
It's the
bought
biggest
we have
gold
bought
mine.
15 units over the last 12 days on Marketplace and turned them just like that.
It is the
Give
15th.
me some strategy. Don't just say marketplace. Tell me what these guys can do.
Okay.
What they can require.
You go out and you find a machine. You go to Marketplace and you search Razor XP 1000 for sale. And all this stuff comes up and you go, hey, Mr. Customer, I know you're trying to sell this machine online, but I'm a dealer. Here's the cash offer. Would you be willing to accept it? And you do that 10, 15, 20 times in a row.
It's that simple.
Here's where
Pretty much.
Okay, I'm not going to say this.
I'm not saying it's not hard.
I'm not going to say this is a demon tweak, but it kind of is.
What's a demon tweak?
the demon, the fugazi? The thing that
Fucking
people
fairy
don't, the
dust.
people that say, okay, well they figured out some kind of magic, right?
Yeah.
There's no magic in this game. No magic. Are you willing to spend the time and physically go on and do it? Because it does take time to do this stuff. It takes time
But
to go on there and make it
yes.
happen and communicate.
Yes.
And you don't even have to approach these people as a dealer.
True.
The most success that I've ever had on Marketplace had nothing to do with my dealership. It was just me as a dude that just happened to own a dealership, reaching out to people and saying, hey, would you be interested in this? Or when I posted something for sale, it wasn't posting it as a dealership. It was me as a dude posting something for sale on Marketplace so that my audience, the guy that has already kind of, in essence, given up on dealerships, isn't put off by it. That it's
True.
It's one of the most simple
Very true.
things. It's one of the most simple things. You can leave the dealership out of it. That's the demon tweak, right? Just leave the dealership. Approach that as if you were a dude looking to buy that unit. Hey, man, I see you got this listed. I'd be willing to offer you XYZ. Or I'd love to take a look at it. I'd love to take a look at it. Go look at it. Go just as if you wanted that unit. And then you'll find you're perceived by the guy that owns that unit 100 times better because now you are what he's looking for.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the guy.
The moment that a dealership looks at it, they're like, "Oh, well, this guy's offering me $4,500 less than it's actually worth."
No, because this unit that we just bought at Taylorsville, we paid what the guy was asking for.
Yep.
Less than 24 hours later, sold that machine for a profit. 20% profit on that deal.
Yes, but is that the exception or the rule?
It could be the rule. That guy listed a machine for what he thought it was worth. We paid everything that he wanted for it.
You know what the rule is?
That's the exception in this market that we're talking
Okay.
about.
The time frame is a little bit of an exception, right?
Yes,
Like you're not going to
that's
sell
what I
every
mean.
unit the next day.
Sure.
But that is an extreme example. But what's not an extreme example is that the rule is successful people are always willing to do the things that unsuccessful people are not willing to do. That is the rule. So if you know and you're looking at something that we have do any of us have any control over this tariff situation?
Nope.
Not zero. So it would behoove us to actually focus on that and spend time actually worried about the decision that we had no control over, it makes much more money and much more sense for us to focus on the things that we do have control over.
Right.
And now's the time to actually put boots on the ground.
Yeah.
Now's the time to say, hey, if we're in war, the only way to be in war is to have troops out there fighting the war,
Yep.
right? We're in war.
$100
Literally and figuratively, we are in war right now.
Yep.
So, being if we've got a battle and you are not putting boots on the ground, whether that's you as an owner reaching out to people, your finance managers or salespeople especially, you're gonna lose the battle. And if you lose so many battles, you end up losing a war. That's how wars are won and lost, is by individual battles. And right now,
that's how we buy dealerships cheap.
Yes, it is.
that is the truth, though. That's like that is. I think that is as meat and potatoes a message as we've ever shared on this podcast. Is like that's all it comes down to. There's no magic. It's how much effort are you willing to put into being creative, doing something outside of the norm, right? I went through and created templates for all my salespeople last week and said, hey, I know this will work. It's worked for me in the past. Start putting it on. We've sold 8 units. We've sold 8 units on Marketplace.
You have the best marketplace templates in the industry.
You know why? You know why?
I have people who
it's not.
ask
I
for
don't
your
even really know how to
templates.
read. It's not that I'm that smart. Okay, here's the reality.
Not that I'm not smart.
Here's the reality. It's that I've been willing to test stuff and test stuff and test stuff. Ooh, that one didn't work. Can that one? But this part of that one worked.
That's where
And
you should use your Cat Williams. Trying shit, didn't work. Trying
I was
shit,
running
trying
down
shit,
the
didn't
hill
work.
and I said, no, what the point is,
It's the best.
I've been willing to do things that
He's
a
got
lot
the
of
best marketplace template.
a lot of owners, a lot of management, a lot of salespeople
Yeah, it's
we're
effort.
not willing to do.
Yes.
All they want to do is just post something up and do copy paste off the dealer website. Guess what the end user sees whenever they're scrolling on Marketplace and they see some copy and paste? This unit comes from Can-Am, powered with 200, and they see a 700 paragraph description.
Nope.
I know immediately what's going on. When I see a post that's got 6 or 7 sentences that looks like it was written by a real dude,
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe this is a real dude.
Yeah.
Hey, no shit. Just ups to you. I do have people ask for your exact templates from
Well,
me.
they can
well,
have them.
you can buy
And you
them.
can have them for $100. I'll give you $5 per.
No, but I'm saying it's good stuff, and I would
Via
say
commission, mother.
I would say that the template is good, but it's more about understanding what makes a good template that is more important.
Sure.
That's more important.
Or and I should not say or, I should say and, just consistency. Because how can you ever measure the efficiency of something if you don't give it enough juice?
You can't measure the efficiency if you don't have the consistency.
That's a great... Trademark that shit.
Trademark that shit.
Yeah.
Been a minute since we had one of those, and I'm glad we got to bring you another one. Powered by Moving Metal, the show.
Okay, great.
Patent pending.
So,
Bad pending.
tariffs are coming. Your inventory's fucked. You better buy some new shit. Or some
Used.
used shit. Excuse me.
Well, one more thing on that subject, and I'll
Talk
let
to
you
me.
change. Dealer trades. If you're a smart dealer right now, you would stop dealer trading stuff out of your inventory, and you would look for holes in your inventory and go dealer trade with people that's not thinking about what's going to happen. Because the reality is, at some point, the winners and the fucking losers here are going to be the people that are preparing now. And the people that aren't preparing are going to be willing to give you whatever that they have that's on floor plan that they're paying interest on.
Well, and I'll tell you something else. It's going to be a real big hole.
Uh-oh.
Real big hole. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
We've got great tools. In auto, it was OVE, right? Like where dealers would post all their pre-owned inventory, in essence, on kind of like a virtual marketplace. We've got that with a little tool called Moto Hunt.
We do.
So,
True.
And it shows, what does it show? Age. So the dealers,
Yeah. Use Moto Hunt to buy used inventory.
uh-oh.
out.
So for those dealers
Shout
that are
out
saying,
Jacob Berry.
I'm scared to spend my money on pre-owned inventory, let's say you buy 10 units and they're all wrong and you're in them all wrong and you can't move any of them, guess what's going to happen? You're going to start getting messages from people that see it and have an opportunity and know how to sell it. So you can still get your cash flow back from other dealers that are saying, hey, I'm out now, and for some reason I'm dried up on Marketplace or whatever. I've got a guy that reached out to me about this, YZ whatever, and you've got one, I'll pay you what it's listed for, or can we work a deal?
Yeah.
So that's going to start happening a lot more. I'm going to tell you,
Yeah.
in COVID, that was one of the biggest things that I learned is I probably purchased, no kidding, I probably purchased 10 to 20 pre-owned pieces a month that I had shipped in that were pre-owned inventory at other dealers across the country
Yep.
that were aged. Because you know what? They're looking at it. They're saying, I got this thing
Get
I've
it
had
out.
for 200 days. This other dealership's offering me this money. I'm
Get it
scared
out.
right now. They'd press the button as quick as I'd send the offer.
Yeah.
And it's it's a little different with Moto Hunt. But if you can get in front of that dealer and you can give them an offer and they've had it for a while, they're going to accept it.
Well,
I just
this-
had an epiphany. Like literal. What have we added in the past 30 days? What's the one tool that we've added in the past 30 days? Re-added, I should say.
Don't say it.
I'm gonna say
Should
it.
we
Don't
speak about
say
it?
it. Don't do it. Don't you fucking do it, Pat. Don't do
Are
it.
the viewers ready?
Cycle Trader.
Yeah.
Wah, wah, wah.
Give me the button.
Good job.
Okay, so let's talk about this. We cut Cycle Trader off, and so did probably 60% of you that are listening to this, because it was ridiculously expensive, and results in Q3 and Q4 last year. Wait. Q3, Q4 last year
It was an ROI decision,
was terrible. Was terrible.
Yeah.
but you can't fault anybody for
Now,
that.
now, listen to me. Listen to me here. January 1 through March 31st. Pretty sure all three of our stores, or 2 out of the 3, set records 3 out of 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay, we had one store that didn't set a record. Okay, with no Cycle Trader. But then about halfway through March, what happened? What has our guy Ryan Dallas been freaking out about for the past 30 days?
What has Ryan Dallas not freaked out about?
Well, let me
Just
give you
kidding.
let me give you the topic
Love
that
you,
I'm
Ryan.
actually talking about. Ryan Dallas has been freaking out about inventory.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And then you bring this in, and I'm like, hold on a second. These puzzle pieces fit too well together for them not to be correlated. And then what do? I get forced back to fucking Cycle Trader. Wasn't happy about it, by the way. But lo and behold, she's cooking for 15 days. She's doing the thing. It's working. Click-through rates, clicks, impressions are the highest on Cycle Trader
K-marketer.
that I've seen them in 12 months. So does my whole point is that is this all related
to what?
to inventory's getting ready to tighten up? People are looking farther and wider for specific pieces of inventory.
Yeah. Well, we have. I mean, what we've also done like a lot of price restructures on
Yes.
certain units,
Yes.
and we have more used inventory now than we've ever had.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
There's
What
a-
do we prioritize
there's-
on Cycle Trader right
Used
now?
inventory.
Use
There's a-
fucking inventory.
There's a touch of a caveat here,
Okay.
and I've seen it. I think we've probably all seen it. When you bring a conglomerate on like a Cycle Trader, right? I don't. You're going to see success immediately
Oh,
right
yeah,
up front,
yeah,
right? Like,
Trust
so
me.
there's a
True.
little bit. There's a caveat
Yeah.
there, okay? So that
It's like
yes,
hiring a
been
new
good.
salesperson.
It's been
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
been
yeah.
good, right? The
90
eater's good.
days and then we'll
They're
look.
Yeah.
funneling the good stuff. Like I get it, and I'm happy about it, and we'll take it. But in the auto side, there was a whole strategy that a lot of people figured out. It was you get on with a new provider.
And then you get on.
Yeah, hold them for a
And
little
that's
while
what
while
makes
they're good.
motorsports marketing so fucking great.
Correct. So
Shout out.
Yeah, a little bit of a caveat there, but just realize if you've been off, there's still a good message in that. If
It's-
you've been off for a long time, it might
Pick it
be
up
the
for 3
time.
months.
It might be the time to come back in and say,
Yeah.
hey, this is going to spike our business.
Well,
even if it's for a
Dude,
90-day period.
If you don't have good used inventory,
It's not worth
don't
it.
spend the
Don't
money.
do it.
It's not
Don't
worth it.
spend
Don't
the
do it.
money.
Okay, so take a look at Cycle Trader. It could be Fugazi, but could also be the real deal. I'll let you know in about 3 months if it's consistent.
Any new lead provider you sign up with right now
Yeah.
will give you good stuff for
Yeah.
60 days. I mean, it's proven science.
Except for MMG. We'll
I was going
give
to
you
say,
good lead.
you better
fucking traction.
provide an exclusion there because
I don't have to. You guys just both did.
okay,
But my point is all of your majors are going to give you. It's literally written in their program. They say, how do we make somebody excited about our program so that they forget about it and keep us forever?
Yeah.
They give you really good stuff for at least 60 days, sometimes 90 days. And then by that time, you're just so used to it that it becomes part of your business, and then you're scared to give it up.
Yeah.
That's
Understood.
the whole strategy in that business.
So let's talk about holding gross on these units that you have. And let's think about, if this thing plays out the way that we think it's going to play out, if you're going to give units away now, what are you giving up later? Like, yes, you're giving up margin now, but you're also giving up inventory that you could have later. So as far as like the thought process goes of, okay, I want to compete with the market now. And yes, there's going to be dealers out there, hundreds of them probably, that are going to continue to discount stuff, continue to give it away. But you want to be the outlier and say, I can see through this stuff. I'm not going to get excited knowing that I'm not going to get overexcited and say, oh God, I got to compete with the market right now. And I need to drop my prices. What's the thought process here, guys? Like,
Let's use a real quick observation to put this really in perspective. In auto in 2019, 2020, I was very fortunate that I was a part of a really large auto group, so we got a lot of reporting. There were dealers that sold the same makes that we sold in our group, a bunch of them, right? 20, 30 stores that sold the same exact brand, right? And in auto, it's a lot more exclusive. You don't have, a lot of those dealers don't have Chevy and Ford, and they're pretty much like it's a Chevy dealership, it's a Hyundai dealership, whatever. So we saw really quickly that the people that didn't adapt, the dealerships that didn't adapt to what was happening in COVID, and they kept selling and grabbing every single customer and undercutting everybody, what happened is they kept their unit count up, and all of a sudden it went from normal business to flatline.
Yeah.
It was so we call it, you see a candlestick, and it was like a reverse candlestick. So it was like normal, boom.
We call that a
completely
bear
dead.
flag in the stock market.
They literally hit a rock wall so hard that the dealers that were being smart and that were reserving their most valuable inventory and knew what was going to happen, the second that they started hitting walls, and those dealer principals had to start then forking out money to keep their dealerships alive.
Yep.
When that was happening for those dealerships, the dealerships that were smart were making more money than they'd ever made. And it was because they were smart in how it was smart in how they throttled their business, because they understood we're only going to have so much. So how are we going to maximize it, and how are we going to make sure that we can sustain not only in units, but in our PRU and in our customer retention and in our pre-owned. It was a whole plan, and we saw, it happened within about 60 days. That's how quickly that happened.
Yeah.
That it was like, good. Man, why are they outselling us? Oh, shit. Now they're not selling anything.
Yep.
Well,
and you know why? They
didn't have anything
to sell.
Well, I think that it's probably going to be the dealers who have done this during the entire life. It's not like you switched to that mindset today. But the people who have been operating that way, because we have them. We have dealers that have operated that way that said, okay, I know that Polaris is going to roll out rebates at the beginning of this month. My next door neighbor is going to blow these out in the first 15 days, and I'm going to be the only one within 100 miles that has them.
Yep.
So I'll just wait. Those people are going to win because they're already
they're
going
to win long term.
Yes.
a long-term
But
game.
temporary, you might suffer a little bit.
You might have to pay the price, right?
Yeah.
Like you might suffer for.
So what's the balance? Say me as an operator, I have a nut for 3 stores.
Yep.
We have bills we have to pay for 3 stores, but I don't want to go seesaw sales. Don't take any small deals.
Yep.
Hold out for the future.
Okay.
What if the future's wrong?
Okay, so here's what you do. Is first thing you do is you segment your inventory, right? You segment low end, mid end, high end, and you say, okay, low end, don't care what you do with them. Mid end, honestly, take the deal. High end, we're not going to budge on these.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got 3 levels here: low end, mid end, high end.
Okay.
The bottom 2, play the game if you want to, because what we're going back to that. Well, we've talked about 100 times. It's just that top 10%. which is not controlled by external circumstances.
True.
Not economy, not cash flow.
They got
nothing.
money.
They got the
I would-
money.
I was going to say I don't want to say challenge isn't the right word. I would almost take more in consideration segmenting your customers versus your inventory.
Yes,
Because your customer that's buying that high end piece is always buying, right? We well known fact, bottom end, mid tier customer, top tier customer. The top tier customer wants it, and whoever has it is who's
correct.
getting out
Who's
of
going to
business,
get it?
right?
So that's my point.
Mid tier get scared, and you don't really know exactly what's going to happen with that. Bottom tier is going to buy whoever tells them yes.
Let me finish my point here, okay? So, top tier, we reserve those for the top 10 customers. They can get finance, they can pay cash. Mid tier and bottom tier is where we rewind this entire conversation to the front end of it, and we say used inventory.
Yeah.
Because you low tier, used inventory.
Used inventory.
Mid tier, good
Used
used
inventory.
inventory.
Yep.
Top tier, they want the new shit.
new shit.
Let them have it.
Yep.
Hold your margin. Why? Because your margin on this top 10%, if you play level 1 and level 2 correctly, your margin on these units
Yeah.
will be as much as it is.
Well, it's a whole lot easier to hold margin on those customers whenever you can show them really good trade values.
Well, okay. So going again, finishing the conversation here, wrapping back around to what we said into the trade value, low end, mid end, negative equity, 9 times out of 10. We get to pay more for their trades right now. If this thing plays out, we get to pay more for their trades.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So your game is in these two bottom tiers of where you're going to play this entire game that we just talked about. Get this third tier out of here. Operate business as usual, freight, setup, make your money on this top tier inventory. The bottom two is where I think we have the most opportunity because of the two things that we just mentioned. If you got good inventory, we can get them into good used inventory. Plus, we can acquire more used inventory based off of where they're coming in. Because this dude don't give a shit about negative equity.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'll just
I'll just pay it.
Yeah, I'll just pay it, right? So you see what I'm saying is like when we're talking about what do you do? Well, I think you don't have to go as far as make a list, but you need to have it in your salespeople's minds that like HD11 limited,
North Stars,
dude,
Expeditions.
hold.
Yeah.
Hold what you do. Stick to your
And-
process.
Well, the problem is for all dealer, especially dealer operators and dealer principals, we're looking at our floor plan bill.
Yep.
So, like, what do we just eat
Yep.
shit for 3 months and pay that? Or do we sell that unit for a marginal profit and get rid of it?
if you understand the long game, your money's what did you just say? Your money's not working unless it's working.
Yeah.
And interest
Yep.
is working.
Well, and there's
Yep.
there's other
Because you would rather make $7,000 on that deal 60 days from now versus making $2,000 by taking that deal today.
Right.
When the interest
and pay
bill
$1,000 in interest.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yep.
So that's
the
the
math
unit.
maths.
The math will math
Well,
on those units.
and there's another variable in this is that if those are the only tools that you've got to work with, then you're cutting yourself short. And what I mean is if you're only looking at what can I sell this specific unit for and like freight and setup, you're cutting yourself short.
Yeah.
And I say that because the whole point of this entire industry is value, right? The customer wants an experience, clearly. That's why they're buying stuff from us. Nobody's commuting in this stuff, right? They want an experience. Something that we've done recently that has been absolutely gangbusters is we put additional tools together that we can use. We have a Lake Essentials bundle that we sell with our skis. Now we're talking about some real nuts and bolts stuff, right? Like if a customer comes in and they're that top tier customer and we've got very few skis, right? And there's a tall price for that, but we can include some additional tools, some things that they're going to need to operate said ski. Now they're starting to not worry about the price as much, and they're starting to worry more about the value behind what they're paying for. So, and that applies to everything. That applies to all of it. I'm talking about skis specifically, but if you're not accessorizing your units and you don't have accessories that you can build value in and you can retain margin, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Your mid-tier units should be the most accessorized unit sitting on your floor.
100%.
Completely.
Your mid-tier inventory segment should
Yeah.
be the most.
Yeah, that's something that we don't talk about enough on this podcast is like we need to accessorize all units.
Because you're low tier, you're thinking about like I just need to. We're going back to the deal. We just need to get that deal done, right? And it may not happen if there's $4,000 worth of accessory, whether it's financing, whether it's whatever. Your high end. The reality is 90% of those people are going to buy parts and accessories as long as your sales team is strong enough to do the handoff.
To ask for it.
To ask for it. Your mid-tier is where people can price shop and play that game, but also they are looking for exactly what you're talking about, which is the value in that
What am I actually getting? What am I actually getting?
What am I actually getting?
Yep.
So if we're talking about what should you do, right? One, segment your inventory. Explain it to your sales guys how you want to treat each segment. Two, you better have this segment right here loaded out because those people are
Which is what segment?
your mid-tier segment. Low tier, mid-tier, high tier. Protect your high tier. Accessorize your mid-tier. Blow out the low.
Yep.
Simple as that, boys.
Accessorize.
Accessorize.
Build
Accessorize
packages.
everything.
Build packages.
Yes.
Build packages that make sense to people.
Along with those tiers, like you know what makes sense on the low tier? Roof, windshield, rear panel.
Yep.
You know what makes sense on
Rear
the
view
mid-tier? Mirror. Okay.
Yeah, for
Mid-tier,
sure.
roof.
You guys see if that
windshield,
baby
rear
mama's
panel,
chasing you?
Mirrors, rock sliders, bumpers.
Yep.
The high tier, yeah, I think you should probably have one or two that's like loaded out. But like we just talked about, I think those people, as long as you have a sales process revolved around selling P&A, if you ask for it, they're going to do it.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I mean?
Dude, they want it.
Yeah.
I want it. If
Mm-hmm.
I'm buying a boat, am I buying a fucking Mastercraft that doesn't have a badass sound system
No,
on it?
fuck off.
Hell no.
I would hope
no.
not.
Fuck off.
What are you gonna do when you're out in rope swing? Nothing. You'll be
Nothing.
listening to other people's sound system and be
Playing
like, I
the
wish I was cool like
fucking
that guy.
banjo.
Yep.
You know?
What we're going into, regardless of what happens, is an opportunity. It's an opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not something we should be worried about.
Correct.
It's not something that should be fearful because here's what will happen. If you message this the wrong way to your salespeople,
Yep.
I've seen this happen. Oh my God.
I got to start looking for something else.
Oh my God.
I'm not gonna sell
I'm not
anything.
going to have nothing to sell in like 6 months. I'm not going to be able to pay my...
Oh, the stock market's down.
Yep. Nope.
We have
nope.
no inventory.
Nope,
My life
nope,
sucks.
Nope. So this is a different aspect of this conversation. But if you're not on the spearhead of this, and if you're not saying, hey guys, we've got a huge opportunity coming up.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe it, they
They
will
are not
not
gonna believe it.
You better start
because
hunting.
guess what their buddies that are doing the same thing that have poor leadership that's got them all bummed out
Yeah.
are going to do to them when they're having a beer at their bar. They're going to be trying to bum them out too.
Yep.
Misery loves company.
Yep.
It loves company.
That's why, like, as a leader or as an owner or a dealer principal or a GM or a sales manager, like, you can't feed into this bullshit.
Nope.
You cannot go to your salespeople and go, hey, man, business sucks right now because we're, this whole tariff thing and
But
blah,
I
blah,
need
blah.
you guys to keep working hard.
But I need y'all to work hard. It's going to be like, no.
it's not
This
gonna
is
work.
a huge
you already,
opportunity.
You already lost them. Yep.
It's a huge opportunity. And if you're not listening to this podcast, and if you're listening to this and you take away nothing, please take away that your attitude to your people is everything. Even if you're a sales guy listening to this, you can change the trajectory of your organization. Trust me, I have freaking did it.
Yep.
Done it. I have freaking
Did it and done it. He
I
done
have
did it.
freaking done it. I have been the guy that didn't have the title that changed the entire culture of the department and the dealership.
So flashback, I had when COVID happened, I had 80% of my sales team filed for unemployment because they did that thing where that you could like file for like some, and then I noticed that the people that were filing for unemployment or the filing for, I forget what it was called, but it was like the subsidized income where they were going to like pay you X amount, even if you
PPP
still had a
loan.
job.
Woo, $500 a week. Woo.
But guess what? Those people fell off and fell
Yeah.
off and fell off. The people that never applied, the very next month after it happened, were saying, COVID is the best thing in the world.
Yep.
I never want to see not COVID.
Yeah.
Right?
Bro, I'm
That's
telling
what
you,
ha- that's what
if you're
happened.
worried about $500 a week, stop what you're doing.
Stop.
Just quit. Go get a fucking factory job. I'm telling you, like, the sales is not the right spot for you.
Correct.
I'm telling you. That's the cold, hard truth. And I tell that to any of our sales guys, any of our sales managers. If you're worried about a nominal amount of money and you're worried about how much can I save, how much can I get from the government, stop. Go do something else.
If your mind, more importantly, I mean, really, to your point, this is a great way to close this episode. If your mind is not right, nothing else will be.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Especially if you're a leader.
You can have the right inventory. You can have the right sales team. You can have all the right lenders.
Yeah.
You can have everything going for you. And if your mind isn't right and where it needs to be, and I'm not talking about half the time or 75% of the time, I'm talking about every damn day. If your mind isn't where it needs to be every single day that you walk into that dealership, you're going to fail.
You're better off not being there.
Yeah. Just
You're
don't show
gonna
up.
Yeah.
Just
You're
stop.
gonna fail.
Give me my theme music. Gentlemen,
Guys,
it's good to
buy
be back.
some used inventory. Stop dealer transferring. Get your mind right about what the hell's going on right now.
Keep your good
Get
shit.
your shit together.
Keep your good shit. It's good to be back, boys. It's been a while. It's a good little re-intro episode. Big shout out to my co-host, Beat Porcupine, Dangle Angle.
Dangle.
Thank you guys for listening, and we will see you next week.
Next week.
Thank you very much.
See ya.